So where do we get started on this private money? Where I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, where we get started is first in this world of private money, from my own experience. To be successful in attracting and raising private money, you got to own the real estate in between your ears first. And what I mean by that is having the right mindset. Okay. So the traditional way in borrowing money for real estate, the traditional way is you go to your local bank and you go see Miss Banker or Mr. Banker, and you get on your hands and knees and you put your hands underneath your chin and you go, please fund my deal. Please fund my deal. Right. That's the traditional, whether you say that or you don't. Of course, you're not going to say that, but you're thinking in your head, please fund my deal is what you're thinking. Well, we got to shift that. We got to shift that 180 degrees. Now in Kentucky, they call it a 360. The problem with that is you got back to where you started from. But anyway, you got to shift.
Is that a slight on Kentuckians? Is that a real thing?
Well, one of my best friends is from Kentucky, and he says it all the time. He says, Jay, you got to do a 360. I said, no, I got to do a 180. But anyway, so in this world of private money, okay, number one, we are not asking for a mortgage. We're not asking anybody to approve our application because there is no application, right? We're not asking them what's their program because we create the program. We're offering. So instead of asking for a mortgage, we're offering a mortgage. We're offering a private lending program. We're offering a program for people to get high rates of return safely and securely. Their investment is backed by the real estate. We're not borrowing unsecured funds. We can legally, but we do not do that. We give our lenders the deed of trust or mortgage, depending on the state that you're in. And so this is all about, so here's the deal, Rob. I've never asked anybody for money. In all these years, I've never asked anybody for money. And people say, Jay, how in the world have you got $8.5 million in private money available to you, either already invested in houses on the street or waiting to be used? How do you have all that private money and you never ask anybody for money? And here's the answer. I put on my teacher hat, and this is exactly what I did. Back to my story of being cut off from the banks in January of 2000, or the bank in 2009, I learned about private money. And so I put my program together and I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach people, first of all, in my warm market, people that I've got some kind of relationship with. I go to church with them. I'm in the Rotary Club with them. I'm in Business Networking International with them. I'm in the Chamber of Commerce with them. You know, you play poker with them on Thursday night, whatever. So I'm going to start teaching people this program I'm so excited about as to where they can earn high rates of return safely and securely. So I put together my program, right? How much am I going to pay? How are they going to be protected? How can they get their money back in 90 days or less in case they got some kind of emergency? What's the length of the note, etc.? What's the maximum loan to value that I'm going to borrow? And that's after repaired value, not before value. One reason I love private money, I always bring home a big check when I buy. Always. I love my real estate attorney's check stub that says excess cash to close. And I love me some excess cash. I always bring home money when I buy. But anyway, so I put on my teacher hat. I got my program. And then I simply started teaching people what private money is. And I want to make sure we're all clear here. We're not talking about institutional money. We're talking about a private lender is a human being, just like you or me, an individual that loans money to you, the real estate investor, either from their investment capital and or their retirement funds. Carol Joy and I right now got 47 private lenders funding our deals, and over half of them have got their retirement funds in a self-directed IRA company that I referred them to so they could then loan the money out to us. That's a whole nother podcast talking about how to work with people's retirement funds. So these are individuals. So I taught them, and that's how. And now here's another way that I never ask for money. So first of all, I teach them the program. But I learned early on, Rob, here's a big mistake. Don't make this mistake. It's a writer downer. Don't teach your private lending program to a potential private lender and talk about a deal you need funded. You're already begging and chasing and you sound desperate, and you don't even mean to sound desperate, right? So we separate the conversation of here's the program. I teach them the program. Hey, at one private lender luncheon where I had my CPA, my real estate attorney, my realtor, my general contractor, I raised $969,000 from one luncheon just teaching my program. Back to my point. Separate the conversation. Here's the program that we teach. And they say, and you don't even have to ask them, well, what do you think? That's like a stupid question. You know, are you interested? I teach them the program and shut up. Believe it or not, I know how to shut up, right? So teach them the program, now shut up. And I tell you, if they've got investment capital or retirement funds, they're going to be asking, well, how do I get started? What do I do? Write you a check? No, you don't write me any checks. I'm not going to put your money to work. There's a key phrase. I'm not going to put your money to work until we have a deal for you to fund. So you tell me how much you got to work with. I'll go find you a deal just as soon as possible. So they tell me. Now, Rob, you're going to love this little role play right here now. So here's how I get my deal funded. And Rob, let's say you're my private lender. Now, you are a private lender that I taught. You see, all 47 of my private lenders never heard of private money. They never heard of private money until I taught them. They never heard of self-directed IRAs until I taught them. So you're one of my new private lenders. Let's say you've told me $150,000 that you got, that you want to put to work, and you want to earn 8% on that money, because that's what I pay. That's my program. By the way, what I pay is not negotiable. That's my program. It's not your program. It's my program, right? So I'm paying you 8%. So you've told me you got $150,000, and you told me that a couple of weeks ago. I say, Rob, I'm going to put your money to work for you just as soon as possible. So here we go. I call you up. You answer the phone. We have a little chit chat. And here's the script. Rob, I got great news for you. I can now put your $150,000 to work. I got a house over in Newport with an after repaired value of $200,000. The funding required is $150,000. Closing is next Thursday, so you'll need to wire your funds to my closing attorney next Wednesday, and I'm going to have my attorney email you the wiring instructions. End of conversation. You see, here, I didn't ask you if you wanted to do the deal. That's the most stupid question in the world I could ask you. Of course you want to do the deal. You've been waiting for the phone call for me to put your money to work. And oh boy, if you have transferred your retirement funds over to the self-directed IRA company that I recommended to you, and your retirement funds are sitting there, they ain't earning you no money until we put that money to work. So you're like waiting for the phone to ring. Well, you don't have a landline. You're waiting for your cell phone to ring with me to give you good news that I can put to work. So again, it's all comes down to you're a teacher. They love the program. They want to do business with you. Now you got a deal for them to fund. I've never pitched a deal in my life. I never pitched a deal, right? And look, there's a 5-letter word that begins with T in this world, and it's called trust. These people that you teach what private money is and self-directed IRAs and all that, they are looking to you. They are trusting you. I mean, you are their financial advisor. I mean, without a license. Right? You are advising them on what to do with their money. And, you know, that comes with it a lot of responsibility, a lot of moral and ethical responsibility. Now, we haven't even talked about existing private lenders that are already loaning money out to real estate investors. Well, where are they? And how do you do business with them? Well, you're not teaching them your program. They already know the program because they are already an existing private lender. Well, there's more than one place to find existing private lenders, but for the sake of time, I'll give I'll give one valuable tip on where to find a bunch of them, like a lot of them. Did you know, Rob, that before COVID, there was $18 trillion in cash sitting in people's retirement accounts and they didn't know what to do with it? And now on this side of COVID, there's $31 trillion in cash sitting in people's retirement accounts. It's my obligation to teach them. But anyway, where do you find these people? Do you have a particular self-directed IRA company that you recommend, Rob?
We do.
Awesome. Well, here's an interesting statistic. Most self-directed IRA company account holders, over 70% of them want to loan you the real estate investor money. They want to be a passive real estate investor and loan the money out. So, I mean, I know one in particular, maybe the one that you recommend as well, has monthly Zoom networking events on the internet where you can go, you can network virtually. They put you in breakout rooms, and you got real estate investing borrowers looking for self-directed IRA account holders looking. So it's like, meet each other, network, get to know each other. My lands, I could talk all day about private money.